Hi all, welcome to the channel. So today's problem is sequential digits and it's the day 19 of the September LeetCode challenge. Let's look into the problem. So the problem is an integer has sequential digits if and only if each digit in the number is one more than the previous digit. Return a sorted list of all integers in the range low, high inclusive that have sequential digits. So let's take this example. So let's say these are the numbers, right, in the range that we can have within the digit, right? So if the low is 100, right, and this 100, the length of the low is 3, right, it is 3 digit, and the length of the high is 3 digit, right? So we have to start with a number that is 3 digit, and also we have to end with a number that is 3 digit, such that those numbers should be sequential, right? So what are the 3 digit numbers that we can have between 1 to 9, right, such that it is sequential, right? So one is 1 2 3, then second is 2 3 4, then there is 3 4 5 as well, but if you see 3 4 5 is greater than high, right? So the only answer is 1 2 3 and 2 3 4. Let's say this high, if it was instead of 300, if it was 3000, right? The length of the low is 3. Okay, so the low is 3 length and high equal to is 4 length, right? So here in this case high is 4, so we have to find out the output such that the digits have length at least 3 and high at least 4, right? Again, if you start with 3 digit length and the numbers will be 1 2 3, which is here. So let me write down here 1 2 3, and 1 2 3 is between 100 and 3000. Then we can have 2 3 4, then we can have 3 4 5, then 4 5 6, 5 6 7, and 6 7 8, and also 7 8 9, right? All these are between 3000, right? So let me write this down: 1 2 3 2 3 4, and 3 4 5, 4 5 6, 5 6 7, 6 7 8, and 7 8 9, right? We cannot have 8 9 10, because 8 9 and then after 9 it is 1 and 0, right? And 1 is less than 9, so it's not sequential digit, right? So that's why the numbers will be between 1 to 9, right? So this is for the 3 digit number. After that, let's take the 4 digit, because the high is 4 digit, right? This is like a sliding window, right? I'm keeping the window of 3 length, then I'm keeping the window 4 length, right? So now my window is of 4 length. So the first number, if I start with the minimum number, which is 1, right? So after 1 it will be 1 2 3 4. I'll check whether 1 2 3 4 is between that low and high range. Yes, it is. So 1 2 3 4, after that it will be 2 3 4 5, and then 3 4 5 0, but 3 4 5 0 is greater than 3000, so this is not possible. So this will be the output if my high and low would have been 100 and 3000, right? So what we did here, if you observe, the thought process was that we have this 1 to 9 numbers and we are just keeping the window based on the length that we have. So whatever is the length for the low and whatever is the length for the high, we are going in between that range, and for each length we are picking the lowest number that we can have, such that that number is greater than my low value, and I will increment the corresponding sequences, and I will increment the numbers after that, right? So I'll start with 1, the lowest number that I can have is 1. After that, the next lowest number I will have is 2, and then just increment the digit after 2, so that it forms the length which is equal to the lowest length. So 2 3 4, and now the length is 3, which is equal to my lowest length. So I'll go that way, right? And assuming that high would have been instead of 3000, if it would have been 30,000, right? So here the length would have been, instead of 4 it would have been 5, right? So in this case what we would have done is after 3 the length was 4, after that we'll continue with the length as 5. Okay, so we have to start with the lowest length and end with the highest length, right? So let's see how we can code this thought process into the solution, right? So I'm using Java here. So first I did was find out the length of my low and high, right? So low equal to, let me convert this into a string and then I can get the length of the string, right? So either I can do this way, or I can go over a for loop and divide the integer by 10 and get the count out of that, right? So what I mean by that is it will be something like this. While, so I can do this way as well if I don't want to use string, and this will also give me the number of digits that I'm having, right? Because every time I'm dividing the digit by 10, so at the end of the loop it will basically give me how many time I divided the number by 10, right? So that is a count, that is same as the number of digits I have, right? But in this case I'll go with a simple converting into string and then getting the length out of it, right? The reason why I'm doing that is because we know that the string is not big. We know that the low and high, it can be greater than or equal to 10 and less than or equal to 10 raised to 9. So at the most it will be having 10 digits, right? So the string is not big here, so we can do this way. And I did the same thing for getting the value of the length of high. So once I have that, let me declare a string here which represent the range, right? 1 to 9. So now what we'll do is we'll go over the range of low to high, because that is the number of lengths that we have to form, and make sure that it's inclusive, both low and high length both are inclusive. After this I'll form the string, right? Now for forming the string I need to select the window, right? So this is a string. Now I need a loop to form the string, right? Based on the length, right? So the string will always start with the lowest number, right? So in this case the lowest number for the string is 1, right? So I'll start with the 0th index. 1 is at the 0th index, so I'll start with the 0th index. So for example, if I is 3, right, the first example that we have here, right, the low is of length 3, right? So if it is 3 and let's say high is high enough, let's say 30,000, right? So what is the maximum 3 digit number that we can have, right? And that will be 789, right? So the reason why we are not including 10, as I said earlier, it was because after 9 we'll again have a 1 which is not sequential, right? So we cannot have 10, so we have to only go till 9, right? So that means if this is a string array, I just need 789, okay? And the total length of the string is 9 characters. So if the length that I am interested in is a 3 digit window, right? So it should be 9 minus 3. So my window should start from 6, right? If I'm using a 0th index string, right? So it should start from 6 and it should never start from 7, right? So my j value, if it is starting from 0, it can only go up to 6, right? Or whatever is my total length minus my current length, right? So j should only go up to my total length, right, will be 9, because the string is of 9, and I can only go up to the value of the length, right, which is I stores the value of the current length, right? So I'm saying it is less than or equal to 9 minus I. So if I is 3, 9 minus 3 is 6, so it can only go up to this particular range, right, where it starts from 7. It cannot start from 8. Okay, so I'm taking care of that here, and then do j plus plus. And now I need to only do the substring, right, starting from the 0th index, and then I'll go one index at a time, right? So let me store that value into str equal to str dot substring starting from jth index, j plus I index, right? So whatever is my starting index plus the length, I is the length, right? And in Java the ending index is exclusive, right? So here we don't have to do -1, okay? Because if I is 3, right, it starts from 0, and this will be 0 plus 3 is 3, so 0 comma 3, so it will be 0th index, 1 index, 2 index, and 3 is exclusive, so we won't consider the third index, right? So it will be 1 2 3. So this is good, and we need to convert this into integer now. So once we get the int, we need to check whether that is in the range of low and high, right? So if it is in the range of low and high, then we can add it into our result list, right? So let me declare a result list here. So here if it is in the range, I'll add this int in my result list. So if int str is less than low, then we can go over in the loop and check till the point that it is within the range, and we can add that in the result, right? However, if int str is greater than high, right, in that case, even though we go forward, we will never find a number that is in the range because we are beyond that high range, right? So at that point we can simply return whatever is the result that we have, right? So let's add that condition. So here if int str is greater than high, then I'm directly returning the result, and at the end I can also directly return the result. Okay, so let's run the code. So this looks good. So the complexity of this, if you see, we are going over from low to high, which is the length, and then within that we are going from 0 to 9 minus I, right? So the max that it can have, right, is the low is 2 digit and high is like 10 digit, right? So at the max it can be 10 into 10, which is 100, right? So this is kind of constant because it's a constant number that we know it can be in the worst case. So the time complexity is O of 1, and also we are not using any additional space apart from the space that is required for returning the result, right? The string that we are creating is a very minimal space, so in this case the space complexity will be O of 1 as well. So let's submit this, and the result is accepted. If I go into more details, it is 0 millisecond and 100% faster. That's it for this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel for more such videos. Thank you.